Well, the new Strange New Worlds beams into the media mix after 13 feature films and 11 other TV spin-offs.
Star Trek changed the face of science fiction, and the new series promises to return to the optimism of the original series that premiered more than half a century ago. Adding his insight on the Star Trek franchise and the new series is the Star Trek Strange New World is Bill Smith, co-host of the popular Trek Geeks podcast and the co-founder of the Trek Geeks podcasting network. Thank you so much for being here. I understand you have watched the first 5 episodes of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. So how is this new series upholding the legacy of tackling progressive issues and inclusion?
Well, first, thank you very much for having me this morning. I really appreciate it. I think that Strange New Worlds is doing it exceedingly well. It kind of harkens back to the sort of episodic storytelling of the original series, where they talked about humanity through the guise of science fiction on a weekly basis to talk about some of the issues plaguing society today. You know, the original series was very subversive when it did it back in the 60s, and Strange New Worlds comes right out of the gate addressing things that about conflict in society. I think that it is the perfect start to this brand new Star Trek series, both in tone and in spirit as far as Star Trek goes.
So this new Star Trek series features Captain Christopher Pike, who was the captain of the Enterprise for the original pilot that was shot back in 1965. So why are Star Trek fans so excited about the return of this character in particular?
Well, you know, I think it was Anson Mount's portrayal in season 2 of Star Trek Discovery. You know, they made the decision to bring back the Pike character because we didn't know a lot about him. You know, that first pilot, which was deemed too cerebral by NBC executives, giving us the second pilot starring William Shatner. You know, and that character just never reappeared again, you know, in Star Trek. So I think it was a way to go back to Star Trek's roots and pull up on this character that really was the basis for a Starfleet captain as we know it today.
And the familiar characters from the original series are back, but as their younger selves, and of course played by different actors, for instance, Mr. Spock and Uhura, how much will this help bring viewers to come watch this new series?
I think it's going to draw in, you know, people who've been viewing Star Trek all their lives and a brand new audience. These aren't, you know, this isn't mimicry of these characters. These are brand new performances put on by fantastic actors. Ethan Peck is wonderful as Mr. Spock. You know, you've got Jess Bush as Nurse Chapel, which is, you know, kind of great to have some background on that character. But I think the real, you know, the real thing that Trekkies are really looking forward to is Celia Gooding as Cadet Uhura. I mean, Uhura, this is a character that is legendary in pop culture. Nichelle Nichols herself is an icon in society. And we get to learn more about this character before she became Uhura that we knew in the original series. And I think that's pretty exciting.
So I want to talk about maybe the audience that has never seen a single minute of Star Trek ever, whether it's movies or series. Convince them, if they're watching right now, why they need to be watching this.
You know, I think, especially today, I mean, you know, you all have the job of reporting the news on a daily basis, and it's not always great. But I think what Star Trek does is it gives us hope for humanity in the future. Things may seem really perilous and horrible right now, and in many ways they are. But Star Trek gives us that ability to look at ourselves in a mirror. And sometimes we don't like the reflection that we see, but other times it gives us the hope to say that, you know what, we can do better. Maybe it inspires somebody to do something like, you know, get involved in their community, or maybe even, you know, run for office or to help other people. I think that that's what Star Trek brings to the table. You're not going to find that in a lot of other shows. I mean, that's why there are over 800 episodes of Star Trek over 56 years. No other franchise in the yeah, it is. No other franchise in the history of television has ever accomplished that. And I think that alone is reason enough to check it out. And Strange New Worlds, honestly, is the perfect entry point. If you haven't watched Star Trek before, I challenge you, watch episode 1 of Strange New Worlds and tell me it's not great, because it really is fantastic.
All right.
And real quick, on the business end, there's been a lot of Star Trek since Viacom launched the Paramount Plus streaming network. And the same can also be said about Disney and Star Wars, now with Disney Plus. Is there at all a danger of having this opportunity to keep too much sci-fi brands? Is it going to dilute the water, so to say?
I don't think it will. I mean, people said that same thing in the early 2000s, you know, after, you know, 4 successive spin-offs of Star Trek. You know, they said, well, maybe the brand is tired. I don't think the brand is tired. I think we're entering a new age of Star Trek. And I think that it's an exciting one. You know, Viacom and Paramount, they don't make more of a thing that people don't want. I mean, they understand their business, and Paramount Plus has been wildly successful thanks to Star Trek kicking it off and the addition of more Star Trek series. It's led to other content. So I think that Star Trek's going to be around for a good long time.
All right, Bill Smith, the co-host of Trek Geeks podcast and the co-founder of the Trek Geeks podcasting network. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Have a good one. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Live long and prosper.
Yeah, I could do that. There we go. Working on it.